It's story time.
Hello and welcome to the Storytime podcast. And this week I have with me Davey Reilly.
Hello.
Tell everyone where to find you on the internet, Davey.
At Davey Reilly on Twitter / Davey Reilly on Facebook. That's one I never know how to tell people. Do I go to the full website?
Facebook.com
/ HTTPS. Just DaveyReilly.com. There's links there to everything. That's probably the easiest.
And I'm sure if you Google it, you find you as well.
My friend sent me a thing the other day. If I don't know why, but he just Googled Davey, and on Google Images I was like 2 of the top 3. I'm like,
nice.
yes.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So you may know Davey from the Facts Channel YouTube channel videos. I always find it weird, like, because it's called Facts, but it's such a weird name.
Yeah.
Everyone calls it like Facts Channel, but then you're like Facts YouTube channel or Facts Channel on YouTube. You know what I'm talking about? It's youtube.com/facts.
Yeah. Do you know what really always bugged me about it?
Right.
Yeah. Was the full stop. The full stop at the end,
actually.
because if you were listing it, if you're like, oh, as seen on RT Facts, full stop, comma, and you're like, that looks horrible. It looks real bad.
Yeah. And that was a real thing. It was like you always have to use the full stop, and I was like, oh, I wish I didn't though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
just like little syntax in me. It's like, no, it doesn't look good.
yeah. No, I remember actually in my interview at the start, I was like, why is it called Facts? There's not a fact on it. Yeah. So
I remember when I started, one of the producers who's no longer with the channel, but that's everybody. One of the older producers who's gone a while, seemingly in his first week, kept going on about how bad a name it was, and was threatening to be fired within like a week of starting.
So in case you haven't figured out, we're here to share fact stories. And we're not here to spill tea, but if it happens.
If it happens, it happens. Now, just as an aside, before we started recording, you did say that the space looks way bigger on camera. It's astounding. It's amazing.
Yeah, everyone arrives and they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We're such a small house.
Yeah, we're in the back of a car right now.
Yeah, so we're here to share favourite sort of fact stories, memories, videos we did, etc.
Yeah.
Just shoot the shit basically about Facts Channel ending RIP. Like Vine.
Yeah. Whatever. How did Vine go under? How did that? Was there no ad revenue off it?
So, well, yeah. But rumour has it that the biggest Vine creators basically were moving to YouTube because it's monetizable.
Right.
And then Vine engagement was dropping, so they all went as a collective, kind of like what Friends did when Friends was in the last season. They all went as a collective and were like, if you pay us $1 million each, we'll continue to create content. Yeah, but the Vine creators, like, just $1 million straight each, will continue to create content on your platform. And Vine were, again, rumor, Vine were like, fuck off.
Yeah.
So they did. They fucked off to YouTube. And then Vine was like, or Twitter was like, see you later. I personally think the death of Vine definitely came around when Twitter introduced their own video, because then there was no point. That was
Twitter
the original
Vine,
point to Vine. Yeah, they did,
Yeah.
So that was originally the point to Vine, was to share videos on Twitter, because Twitter didn't have that capability.
But once they had their own embedded
videos, it became
videos,
a comedy thing in its own right. But then when you couldn't share it on Twitter, or like there was better ways to share video on Twitter, there was kind of it was kind of superfluous, I guess. People just started putting their comedy directly on Twitter, and it was longer. But I loved the 6-second stuff. I miss Vine.
I have got really into boomerangs on
like
Instagram.
boomerangs
I love
though,
them because
yeah,
it's that thing. It's like, oh, you got like 3 seconds to do something.
Yeah. And when you fuck it up, it looks so stupid though.
Oh my god, yeah, because you do it and you move it back yourself.
Yeah.
And then that'll just throw everything off. Like, no, just only do one movement.
Yeah, so we're not here to dissect all dead social medias, just Facts Channel.
So BIM. Was BIM that Casey Knight?
Beam. Yeah, that's also R.I.P.
I remember walking around Galway the day that was downloaded. I'd never heard of that guy before. I was like, this is weird. And I was like, I'm using Beam for the first time, and half my videos wouldn't upload. And I was like, well, this isn't long for the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of pointless. I used it for a couple of days. And then they changed it, and I used the new format, and then got bored of it again.
What's Vero?
I don't even know. There's going to be so many people picking out, like, fuck, they won't talk about Facts Channel.
Alright.
Right. So, Facts Channel ended recently. Just to clarify, because the last video I put up was about me leaving Facts Channel, I did leave it before it ended. So a lot of people are like, how did you leave it? It fucking closed down. I'm like, well, I left it before it closed down.
Yeah.
FYI.
You've been on a while.
Yeah, I was producer there behind the camera for just under 2 years. It would have been 2 years in March, so it was
Right.
like 6 weeks, under 2 years. You were on it for much longer than me. You were a contributor for what, the whole time? 4 years? How long was the channel running? Who knows?
I did my first video in 2014. March 2014.
Oh, that is a long time ago. So you'd be 4 years this March
4
then.
years.
It feels a lot longer, doesn't it?
It couldn't be 4 years.
No, it could be, because I was there 2 years. And you were well ensconced.
I remember my first video was trying hot chocolate recipes. And it was me and I was just on my own.
Oh yeah, because they used to do stuff on their own.
Yeah, it was me and then Ronan Grace was in the video, who I knew from doing stand up. Blaheen, maybe? And I've known Blaheen 7 years maybe.
So you knew Blaheen before
I
the channel?
knew Blaheen before the channel, yeah.
Because that's kind of how it started, isn't it? There was a lot of like friends were just asked to be in it, and it expanded from there.
Like how I got onto it was, I knew Laura and Ryan from doing stand up, and then they were mentioning, just the YouTube thing, and I'd never seen it. Like I didn't really watch YouTube much, and it was like, I mean, if they want someone on it, if they're looking for anyone else, and I think the production manager at the time had seen me do stand up, so then when they said it, they were like, oh yeah, like let's get him in. So it's one of those things that in the interim, like in the past few years, some people are like, oh hey, I see you're on that channel. I want to do an audition video. My friends are doing an audition video. What did you do? I'm like, I
nothing.
Did stand up for 5 years before? I don't know.
Yeah. What was the worst video you ever did? Can you remember? You did the backside and crack one, didn't you?
Wasn't the worst one. Yeah.
It wasn't?
The worst one never was released. The worst video I ever did was the very last one I shot, and I intentionally didn't sign the contract afterwards, and kept that quiet.
You're such an asshole.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it?
It was watching the Logan Paul Japan video.
Oh, Jesus.
And somebody, there was a mix-up, and the actual footage of the unfortunate person wasn't cut out of the video. So it was the last video I did, and I refused to sign the contract afterwards. I told him I didn't want it going up, and the person I was in the video with left crying. I had to go up and take a break from the video. It was the most traumatic. It was horrible.
So it wasn't blurred?
I mean, it was as blurred as much as Logan Paul blurred it.
Oh, so it was actually Logan Paul's full video. It wasn't
it was
like
lively.
re-edited.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
So that was the last one I did, and it's kind of unfortunate that was the last one, because that one was made, then all the snow happened, so then there was like a week where there was no shoots, and then there was like, oh, we'll get back to you next week, and everyone was a bit like, oh, well, let's hope this is okay.
Yeah, it's such a pity that it went out on such a flat note, I guess, and that was from the very top bad management, I would argue, because like everyone was willing to keep it going and keep it trying, but it just wasn't clear whether or not there was will to keep it going.
Exactly. It felt like interest
sort of
was
fizzled rather than ended properly because of that confusion.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate.
It's really unfortunate, and there's a lot of people, like all the contributors wanted to keep it going, all the producers wanted to keep it going, and it's unfortunate. But money talks, I guess.
Yeah. It's a shame, because
it's a shame. It's a real shame.
Even from like a social point of view, it was real nice.
Yeah, actually.
Because
I've met loads of people that I never would have known.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't in that, and you guys like convinced me to try stand up first time, Laura in particular, like, and I would have never had the balls to do that.
Yeah, it's very correct.
So yeah, it's totally changed my life anyway.
Real opportunistic, like Calvin man in me was like the day after we got the news that it was shutting down, I'd like text Sean like, Sean, what's the story with them butter bags? And they still
I saw that actually in the group chat. Is it on the day he was like, is it too soon or are the butter bags gone?
Yeah, because I think I put it in one of our groups, and then I text Sean separately, being specific, but like, you know, the small footstool
ones. By the way, I'm dead serious. Yeah. Yeah, I know you thought I was joking, but I'm dead serious.
Because butter bags, the lads are sound, and they gave me three bags.
Oh, yeah, they'd already given you personally some butter bags.
Yeah, they'd already given me.
So, and they'd given Fax loads of butter bags, and me actually as well. The first year this podcast was all butter bags.
was super cheeky about getting the Buddha bags. I was lying on the windowsill in the big room, in fact, and the two lads were walking back, and I had the week before been chatting to a friend of mine who mentioned, I was in her house and I was like, oh, this Buddha bag's amazing. She's like, oh yeah, I'm friends with the owners. And I was like, oh, when I was a teenager we used to go up to Dublin and like lie in their store for an hour.
Blocking had the exact same story.
Right? And you're like, oh, that's why the store closed down, because nobody was buying anything. It was clearly a better online business, and they're doing really well now, because there isn't stupid kids like me just going in and sitting down for 2 hours. But I was lying out, I was real cheeky. I was like, well, are you so-and-so? He's like, yeah, I'm friends with blah. Any chance of a Buddha bag? It was just so brazen about it. And as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, the fuck. Like, I regretted it. And then he said something like, you don't ask, you don't get. And I shot him an email, and the next thing he was offering me, like...
is it for the podcast he gave you? Your podcast?
No, not even. That was just then in the email to like... He was like, oh, here's 2 the maxi ones, which...
Are huge! Where did you put them?
How would I get them to my house? Like, just for a start, right? But then I was like, oh, we can, how about we talk about you guys on the podcast? There's 3 of us on the podcast, so I was like, how can we... So I bargained down from 2 maxis to 3 midis, which is still huge.
Which are still huge,
yeah. Because there's 3 of us on the podcast.
Was it 3 midis, not 3 minis? The
3
ones
midis.
I had 2 minis in here is what I had, and they were like took up the whole room.
Yeah. And it was me and my friend John, who we do the podcast with, got one each. And I gave the other one to Rob, who's the sound engineer. But me and John were living together at the time, so in our sitting room there was just 2 midis.
Were you doing your podcast in your sitting room?
No.
Oh. So how did you get it to your set then? If we were recording, we always recorded in Stag's Head, upstairs there. And did you bring the Buddha bags?
No, we didn't. We just were like, oh, we're here recording at the Stag's Head, sitting on our comfortable Buddha bag. We're just sitting on a bar stool, like...
Oh, yeah, because it's not a video podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, right, see, I was automatically assuming it was a video.
But I've already tried to be working out now, because I was saying to you off camera, I want to start a sort of a series on YouTube. I'm like, where do I put...
Subscribe.
Yeah, that's breaking news. I was like, where do I put...
Oh my god, this must be a title. I'm starting my own YouTube channel, Storytime with Davey Reilly.
Perfect. Boom. There we go. But I'm like, because in my head I'm like, I know where I want to film it in my room, because the sun comes straight in my room windows. I'm like, oh, good natural light there.
Yep. Natural light, always the best.
But then my bed is right behind my desk. I'm like, what if I just put the Buddha bag on my bed and I sit up? I'm like, oh, it's going to be very high.
Yeah.
I'll figure something out.
But back to Flex Channel. Tell us a story about Flex Channel.
I'm trying to think. Well, my first video that I did with you was one of my favourites. It was the watching RuPaul for the first time.
Oh my god, that was my first video ever, yeah.
And I was in with Dermot, and Dermot had never even heard of this.
Yes, I remember actually, I love this, because you were well versed in RuPaul, and you were like, wait till I explain to you now.
And I was so happy about it.
Dermot was like, they wax their eyebrows? Or they glue their eyebrows here? And you were like, wait till you hear what they do with their balls.
Yeah. But then you were the one who told me then like what squirrel friends meant, and that blew my mind. And it's like, because they hide their nuts. It's like, oh my god.
I was told that by James Mr. TV, just that.
Of course James knows it.
I used to send him voice messages and be like, can you translate this RuPaul Drag Race lingo for me? It's like, what's squirrel friends? And there you go, yeah. That's how I found that one out.
Yeah, that was my first one I did with you, and was one of my favourites because of it was just so fun, and it was like there was no way any of the commenters were able to spin it and like, oh, David hates everything. I was like, I don't. Yeah. I really don't. Look.
And it was also put together by somebody who really likes Drag Race, so it was like a kind of a fad montage, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I was one of my favourites as well, because I remember when Courtney Act put out her wings, you were like, yes!
I was just so happy watching Dermot. But then that led into just Dermot watching this for the first time with him to like 3 months later, being on stage at the George in drag lip syncing.
Oh yeah.
Which
that was a good one.
Was maybe my favourite video to do. I think just due to the way it was filmed and like the nature of it being in the Georgian music and stuff, the video I don't think came across as well as the experience was.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of way. because that was a whole day. We were there from the afternoon for like the first bits of the shooting. Then we went off and got food, and then we were back pretty quick because there was a lot of makeup to be doing, and
I think that I was surprised like how well you guys were received, you know, because like 3 straight guys maybe like or whatever being like, oh here we want to try drag now.
Yeah.
We want to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
and like, but they were actually really, really accepting, and they were like, yeah, give it up.
They were so good.
Yeah. It was amazing.
I was watching that video again the other day, and just watching Ryan just not really try. I loved
Didn't
it.
he win?
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't. Oh no, sorry, he got it.
He got knocked
eliminated
out first.
Yeah, sorry, that's where I got confused.
Dermot won.
Yeah, he looked like Charlotte Crosby. This is still a running joke that Dermot looks like Charlotte Crosby when he's in drag.
See, I think Dermot had the advantage of being an actor, so he was, he had that performative side down, whereas, I'm a stupid stand-up. I just stand still on the stage, so I'm not used to. That said, I did take my jacket off and was wearing a bra and just threw the jacket into the crowd. I was like, oh, this is. It was so much fun. It was definitely the most fun. And then I changed back into my earlier outfit after the second lip sync, and then just spent the night in the George in that first outfit. But I was wearing 8-inch platform heels. Didn't fall once. Didn't fall going up or down the stairs. Didn't fall while dancing. And just felt it was like tipped me over 6 foot. And I was like, oh my god, this is what being tall is like. And it just gives you the sense of confidence that I just never experienced.
No way.
It was like goddamn tall people and all of their
That's so funny because I've tall lady friends that would say the opposite. They're like really insecure that they're taller than everyone else.
Yeah, unless it's a guy thing, because like I was always one of the shortest in school. I was like in boys' school, and where sport is such a big thing, so being like physically tall and able and stuff is like an advantage.
Yeah. What I always found disappointing about producing facts videos was because obviously part of it was like you'd be really proud if something got a lot of views or whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously, as videos cost a certain amount to produce when you factor in the producer's wages, the time in the studio, the props, and especially if we were out and about and we had to pay for something or whatever. Yeah. And then a lot of times we actually did have to pay for stuff because it put us in this weird not sponsored but yet we've gotten something for free sketchy ground if we didn't because of our size. So we actually did have to, if something was 300 quid, we would just pay it rather than try and get it for free. Yeah. And have to deal with all these disclosure kind of things, you know what I mean? So there was basically a minimum you kind of had to hit. So you'd be very disappointed if your video didn't do well, especially if you put a load of effort into it. And some of the ones where you went outside and it took a day, like that one, or one that I'm thinking of is people face their fear of heights.
So like Brian,
a couple hour long shoot. I think I edited it for like 2 straight weeks. It had 3 different camera angles, so 3 hours of footage on 3 different camera angles, and I really put my heart and soul into the edit of it, and I thought it came out so well because we'd also upgraded all our gear, so the sound was good, everything, but it didn't do very well. And then it was like, after that, it was like, don't do any more of those videos because they don't perform. And I was like, it was really disappointing. So, like, that was what I found most disappointing is sometimes we went, okay, we want to do this really cool idea, then try drag. Or I did one where men went on a hen party.
That was so funny.
And oh my god, the video was great. They just didn't perform as well as the oh my god, I'm eating bread in the studio videos. So
it was really disappointing, because
really disappointing.
Like when the girls went wrestling.
Yeah, that was a great shoot. I was on that shoot as well. It was
so good. So there was loads of those shoots that I would have loved to have done. And anytime, because you'd come up, you'd occasionally pitch something like, hey, what do you think of doing this? I was always hesitant about pitching stuff as well. Because I was like, I know I'm not going to get paid any more than the flat fee. This video could make thousands, but here's your, your little brown envelope. I'm like, God damn it. But it was also the thing of like, they're not going to run with this. And not the producers aren't going to run with this, but I know it's going to be vetoed from management.
On high.
And it was real unfortunate because there was a few things I said to Owen and Sean, just like various little more challenge sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The one I keep pushing is like a Project Runway. Like I was like, just me, Ryan, Dermot. We just have to make a dress. We have an afternoon.
Oh, I love that. I'd love to watch that.
And Laura, Blah, and Shannon, we just were like, all right, we're given one lady each, and then we have an afternoon to make an outfit
That'd be brilliant.
I think it'd be so good.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, that would be the kind of thing that would have been vetoed from a while.
I even had like, I was like, well, you can go to Hickey's. Hickey's is the Material Crowd. Do it, maybe not fully sponsored, but just get some of their old stuff that, you know, they're not going to use. They don't mind. Thanks to Hickey's for the stuff. Like, there's a way to do it real cheap as well. And
that's definitely something you could do for your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
David Dresses. I don't even know what my channel's called. I have it set up for years, and it's...
Well, you can change it now, luckily. You used to be able to change your YouTube usernames. Now, if you want to make something custom, you can do it.
That is true,
I'll
because...
put whatever the link is currently down in the description.
Oh, sweet, thank you.
So that people can go, but you can still change it then at your leisure.
Because I had an earlier channel...
Which is part of the reason why I was like, why don't we change facts from facts full stop?
Yeah. Yeah, full stop as well.
Apparently,
yeah. But,
to be fair, it is the first results when you search facts.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I want to search somebody tasting something, I don't search the word facts, really.
Yeah, opinions. Like, it's a different...
Call it opinions.
Yeah.
Full stop.
It's really a case of subjectivity versus objectivity. You're like, objective, not subjective.
And it was the number one most asked questions, like, why is it called facts, not facts?
Yes,
and I was like, I know, I said this very same thing in my interview.
Literally none of us were involved. Literally none of us were involved in the decision making.
Oh god.
But because I had an earlier channel I set up when I was in college, and I just made stop motion videos.
Wow, that's really difficult to do.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. I had a little...
Like, I can't do that now.
Canon point and shoot at my desk, and I used like gummy worms or like army men, and
wow.
I'd just
photo
move, and then just like with marker on card dialogue. So I'm like blah, 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 clue. It's just stupid stuff. Like there was one of like a bunch of green army men, and then there was one yellow army man in it. And then like the captain walking back and forth, and like there's a traitor in our midst, blah 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 blah. It's just this dumb.
That's actually really hard to do though.
Dumb little thing. I can't remember the name of the channel or the login.
We'll find it. Or is that not the current one you're using? Oh, it's a different channel. There was
another one that I couldn't remember.
Sean Connolly has a story about an old channel he had with his videos of him playing the drums on it.
Amazing.
And he's like a teenager, and he's like, I don't know if you can log in to take them down or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't remember the username. And I think it's my old Aircom email address that I had when I was like early teens.
So you're not getting that.
Oh, it's not at all.
I'd love to log into my MySpace and delete it, but I don't even know where it is.
I was on my MySpace recently, because it's all like a music website now.
Yeah.
But I had set up a musician page when I was a teenager as a joke, called Marmaduke Snuffles and the Imploding Weasels. I don't know where... the name came to me one time, and I was like, that's hilarious. This is a dumb 15-year-old. And the photo was like those animatronic elf musicians that they have in the Ilex Centre at Christmas.
Okay.
And that was how I got back into my MySpace, because I remembered the name of that band, went into there.
Which is pretty random.
Yeah, right?
And then broke back into your MySpace.
Found the list of fans, because they'd separated it, and then saw my actual account.
Gotcha.
And then went back into it. And because Bebo, I never got all my Bebo photos. I never did that when there was the chance to. And then Bebo was like a Twitch analog. It's something specific, and there's even a bit in like photos ? You click into it, and they're like, we gave you a chance, it's too late.
I miss mine as well. I actually did the whole thing where you download them and they email them to you, and I didn't realise the email expires.
Oh. Flip, right.
Yeah, so then I went back in and I was like, right, I better actually go download these. And they were like, expired. I was like,
no.
Fuck. So that's very disappointing.
Yeah.
I loved Bebo. For the Americans watching, Bebo was Facebook before Facebook was in Ireland.
Yeah, we used
Bebo
it instead of MySpace, effectively.
Exactly, yeah. I was briefly on MySpace, but not for very long.
Yeah, I had MySpace, but there was 3 people in Cavan on MySpace, and then like 5 or 6 people. That was the other thing. That's why I went on it a few years ago, was because I was friends with like random emos from Dublin from when we were like, it's just a teenager.
Yeah.
And the fact
that's how you found them.
Well, no, because now that I'm like, it's 10 years later or whatever, I've been in Dublin 10 years, and it's like, well, everyone knows each other. Why don't I just go and see if any of those MySpace friends I had when I was a teenager who lived in Dublin, I was like, ooh, Dublin friends, if I actually know any of them now, or I can even be like, I've seen that person on Twitter, blah, blah. and that's the point where I couldn't. It wouldn't let me into like old friend list or something. There was because it was like, oh my god, what if all these people? That'd be amazing to then
imagine if you were like, oh my god, I hang out with them all the time.
Yeah, right.
That'd be cool.
So I would love to sort of root around in that a bit more. It'd be amazing to be like, oh, I was friends with Diane, like, you know, that sort of.
Yeah. So if there was one Vax video that you could scrub off the internet forever, that you're in, obviously.
You mean?
You have to be in it. Let's not get too shady.
Fair enough. I'm trying not to get sued by people this week. So.
Same.
So I don't know, the old backsack and crack one was fun to do. Like it was nerve-wracking and it was painful in the instant. Obviously the regrowth wasn't fun.
Very itchy.
But the fact that we were all in the room together was...
Oh god, yeah.
So like, if I'm on camera now, right, say Ryan was sitting on the floor over there and E-Man was sitting on the floor over there and I was the first one on.
So you saw each other's balls, is what you're saying.
Oh, so many photos.
Yeah.
So many photos of like...
Yeah, I think there was a photo sent around with an emoji over.
Yeah, it was Ryan, and then I put a chicken emoji.
Oh, very good.
But I was there first, and the other lads were running late. I was like, these lads don't show up, I'm never talking to them again. Because again, like I've known Ryan and E-Man for years, so I was like, I swear to God, this is, if they don't show up, and then they arrive, and I'm just in my dressing gown, and like, oh, thanks for coming out. About to go on. But that was like, Donna had just joined the channel then, because she had moved from Creative Nation.
Yes. So
Facts.
Donna is mentioned in a lot of these like Facts Ascending videos, and people may not know who she is. So she was the
glue.
Yeah, the glue that held it all together. She was the producer, I want to say, was her title. But yeah, so she was behind the scenes organising everyone. Production manager, thank you. Yes, that is her title. So she was behind the scenes organising all the props and all the people and basically making the whole ship run smoothly was Donna's job, and she did it very well. But
she was on that shoot.
Was she?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was it was new.
So she loved that.
She was in the room.
Imagine being new in a job and then like just going and seeing all their balls and being like,
yeah, hey, welcome to
Facts. Here are exhibitors' penises or
so like,
excuse me.
We
probably didn't see the penis.
Oh yeah, no, we were fully naked.
But surely it was from behind, so she only saw your.
Oh, we had to move around.
Anywhere.
So we had to lie on our back.
She sounds awful.
We had to lie on our front. I wasn't on it. We had to go up on our like knees and hunkers.
So probably saw everything.
There was no way to not.
There's no secrets. I'm really glad I wasn't on that shoot. No offense.
No, I mean, it was there was the table, lights, Gary on one camera, Oisin on the other.
Gary would have been new enough at that time as well. Nice.
But Gary's just so like quiet and stoic. You're like nothing phases him.
Yeah.
And then just Donna in the corner with like a clipboard.
Trying not to look.
The shoot lasted like 3 hours. This is just inevitable. And none of us got dressed afterwards. We were just all sitting around in our dressing gowns. Yeah. Nice. But I went. E-Man was sitting on the ground next to this big full length mirror, and I got off the table. Dressing on. I went over to the mirror to like inspect the damage. I just sort of opened my dressing gown, but E-Man was like sitting on the ground, like maybe 15-20 inches away from my hip. It's like, man, get the fuck away from me. I was like, sorry. A really small room. But it was real fun because he was the most nervous. Sorry. And he was like sweating the whole time. But when he was up on his hunkers and like had his arse open, his arse was pointing out the window, but it was on Dame Street. It was blinds, but it was on Dame Street facing the spar on Dame Street.
Okay.
But Eamon was just so nervous and like dripping sweat. I had his arse open and I was like, Eamon, I don't mean to worry you, but there's a 46A parked outside and the whole top deck are looking in. And he got so panicked. It was so... it was great. He just... ended up just doing material. I don't know why.
Lucky y'all didn't nervous fart. That's what I would have been afraid of.
Yeah, that was... He mentioned that. The guy. He also mentioned, like, boners. I'm like, oh my god, there'd be nothing.
Oh my god, the awkwardness of got a boner when you're getting like...
So much worse. Well, Donna, nice to meet you. I guess I'm never seeing you again. You're horrible. And then Oisín had to edit that footage. Oisín had to sit through that footage for like 2 weeks just.
Yep.
Except being honest, how's that footage going? Taking a break. Yeah, fair enough. Like.
And also, just so everyone's aware, the easiest way to edit footage that you have to blur is to edit it unblurred until the final cut.
Oh, of course.
And then blur the final cut, because otherwise you're going to have to blur constantly. It's going to take 10 times longer. So he had to go through that footage many's a time with no blur on it.
It's no wonder he left.
I remember shortly after that video. So that video went kind of viral, like it got like 1 million views really quickly. When I first started at that channel, we were only on 300,000 subscribers. So that was like a lot more than we had subscribers, so it was viral. So it got 1 million views pretty quickly within a couple of days, and then somebody basically re-uploaded the entire thing, except they changed the title to read "Men Try Anal for the First Time."
I forgot about that.
It actually worked.
Completely.
Because you're like, oh, ow, it really hurts.
That's so funny. I completely forgot about that. Amazing.
Oh, that was so funny.
I
was like, we'll submit a takedown request, but it's really fucking funny. We gotta give it to whoever.
Yeah, we'll screenshot it first.
Send it around.
There was because the shot of E-Man, like. The comment I think in it generally was like people would timestamp it like the moment he found God, like that sort of thing. I said email like just
sweat pumping.
Whoa, but just eyes open, mouth open. So the day that we found out that the channel was ending, I like one of the videos screenshotted it, and email we have a comedians WhatsApp group, and some people were like, just ripping the piss, but like, oh, I just run out of food to taste sort of crap. But then E-Man was joining in on the riffing. I was like, what are you doing, E-Man? Like, you were in the channel, so then just posted that photo of E-Man. Yeah.
When you find out back channel's over.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's like, look, it was all worth it for this one image of E-Man. Dripping sweat, bollock naked, just looking like he'd seen God.
Were you on my Men Try a Hen dancing one, burlesque? No?
Yeah.
You were?
It was me, Colin and Tom.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I met the two of them.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one as well.
Kate Finnegan was the teacher.
Dance instructor? Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
I had a load of friends out of that video.
I thought that one was really good.
And got Powerpuff socks.
Colin with his amazing legs.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable legs.
Disgusting, like. And we did Dance of Lady Marmalade.
Yes.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. It was a really tiring day, and especially for you guys, because you had to do the thing over and over and over. But when we got it, it was brilliant.
It was early enough in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a morning shoot. So I think we started at 10, but I think we didn't finish till about 1 or so. Oh my god, and that was the time we were in the dance shoot at the end, and we looked through, and Daniel O'Donnell was in the rooms, and then we all peeked in, and then he gave us a dirty look.
He was wearing his glasses.
He was like, oh, these fucking fans. Like, he honestly threw Daniel O'Donnell threw us a dirty look.
Pure side-eye.
That could be the title.
Was he doing Dancing with the Stars?
I think that's what he was. That's what Oisín said he was probably practicing for, alright, yeah. But we don't know. We didn't talk to the man. We just annoyed him enough so he would give us the dirty look.
That studio was cool. That dance studio was real fancy.
Studio, whatever one he practiced in, I don't remember where it was.
It was down in Eastwall.
Yeah.
Because I remember getting a taxi. It was so early, and I'm really bad at mornings. So I got there, and then it was the first one there. I can't remember how I got into the building, because I was there ahead of
Yeah, I think you were there ahead of us because we met Tom outside.
Yeah.
And then we got let in.
I don't know how I got in.
Already in there.
Yeah.
Hello.
I was like, I'm just gonna lie down, and then found the studio to try to nap in, and then Kate arrived real quick. She's like, "Hello." I'm like, "Oh hey, I think I'm dancing later on." I was just so tired and so groggy. And then there was builders outside, wasn't there?
Yes.
There was builders out because we were up on the 3rd floor or whatever, but there was builders working on a building opposite. It was just the three of us in leotards.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Dressed like we're extras from the Single Ladies video.
Yeah, I really liked that series. That was a series actually that I had. So I do a series on my channel called the Irish Bucket List.
Yeah.
And I had wanted to expand that into doing like men on a hen and girls on a stag.
Yeah.
I think
Did you ever do that?
The working title was Slags on a Stag, but like whatever.
Men on a Hen is real nice.
Men on a Hen is real nice.
Yeah.
And then when I started at Facts, I was like, this is a great idea. I'm going to give it to Facts.
Yeah.
So I did, and I only ever got to do 2 of them because they didn't do well. I was raging. But the first one, really loved it when we went to Galway to do to do life drawing, and they were not expecting a naked man to walk in. They actually genuinely weren't, which is so funny because I was like, obviously it wasn't. It's going to be a naked man.
When we in Edinburgh last year, we did an unofficial fact show, but for the poster, I was like, I'll just do loads of screenshots of like everyone who's on the lineup for the show. So it was like me and Ryan, George, Laura Bloch when she was over, Brian, Ruth Hunter. So it was like anyone who did stand up. And I was trying to like find the best shot of everyone. Eventually I just did it. I got everyone that had a green background, all of the ones that had a white background, and all the ones that had an orange background. So the whole thing down was just an Irish flag.
Yeah, that's very clever.
But I originally just wanted it to be like a mosaic of things. The photo of Ryan I wanted to use was him sitting looking forward and just... Because, you know, he was sitting next to the guy, the naked guy.
Yeah.
So I just wanted that shot of Ryan sitting like this and then just blurred cock and balls right next to him.
Yeah.
Because that was him, Dermot...
Did you use it in the end?
No.
Oh.
Him, Dermot and John Sharpton, wasn't it?
John Sharpton, yeah.
It was so good. Such a good
video. It was so
video.
much fun. Your man was, in a nice way, mad as a bag of spiders, the guy who was the organiser.
Right.
And then...
It looked to be in the middle of nowhere.
It was up in Galway, like, kind of in the edge of Galway town, but it wasn't really in the middle of nowhere, no. And, so he was mad as a bag of spiders, and then the guy who was the naked guy was, like, real, normal dude, and that's why we'd blur his face, because he was like, I actually work in, like, the golf club or whatever, so just I'd rather face wasn't in this. They don't know I'd do this on the weekends. So, okay. I don't know if it was the golf club, whatever he did. He was working somewhere anyway that he was like, yeah, they don't actually know I was naked for hen parties, so if you could just blur my face, that'd be great. I was like, okay.
So he had to blur his face and his bits?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So you should
he actually didn't request that we blur his face.
This is YouTube's community standards.
We had to.
You should be like, you can pick one.
Yeah, that was another thing actually, the YouTube's community standards.
Yeah.
It was very strict in fact sometimes about what we... Every now and again we'd get a reminder that we were only supposed to have one curse word a video, and then we'd have to say it to you. And I remember when one time I went in and I was like, we have a Facebook group to organise people, and I was like, guys, just to remind you, like, keep it to one swear. And I think it was you and Dermot, after I did that, just like, kept making jokes about it, kept being like, fuck, oh sorry, we're not supposed to do that now. I was like, fuck you guys.
I also thought it was brought in because of me. I was like, I swear all the time without noticing, but then someone was like, no, I think it was Shannon. Someone was like said it was one of the girls, but it was also someone was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be.
No, it was actually just
a general rule. Yeah.
It was like.
It was like when
we were having 3 or 4 a video, and then it was basically came down from on high that they weren't being shared as much because there was bleeped curses in it, which I think is bullshit. And so we were to cut out curses altogether, and the maximum we could have is 1 if it if it made a positive impact on the content, if you know what I mean. You can use that for no reason. If it was like...
It's like when you're in school and your English teacher, like, you can swear if it's important to the stuff. Yeah, exactly.
I just... Whatever. I mean, a lot of the advice we were given, I thought was...
For a while, me and Ryan
to be honest,
thought we weren't allowed in videos together because we were in one and we made loads of jokes that we were like, oh, that's going to be really difficult to edit.
Yeah. No, there was someone who shall not be named that wasn't allowed in a video with Ryan yet.
I mean, they
got too dark when they were together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he must not be named. Wasn't maybe himself anyway. Anyway,
there's also a list of people who wouldn't work with other people.
Yeah, there was also. There was, absolutely. Of course, there was. I mean,
there's so many people.
There's so many people that some of them didn't get on, and that's fine. And then, we always steered towards people who worked well together anyway. Yeah. So, like, if 2 people popped off each other, they're more likely to be put together again, because the worst thing you can do is when you shot a video and there's a pair that have no clips.
Yeah.
That's just... And someone's like, oh, why were we only in 2 clips there? And it's like, the other 2 were just, like, popped off each other much better. So, yeah.
Like that's how me and Laura became such good friends. Like we knew each other from doing stand-up, but then we were in probably 30 videos
Yeah,
together.
you were great together. That's
Yeah.
why. So it was, once two people were well together, it was just like, let's do that again.
I did one video with do I really use his real name? Leather Jacket Guy. I don't know, ruin the illusion.
I don't even know his real name.
Really?
Yeah.
I know his brother. He's from Cavan. I've known him for years. He's someone else I knew before facts. He used to do stand-up.
Really? Leather Jacket used to do stand-up? I'd love to see him do stand-up.
Yeah, you're right. And, yeah.
So you did a video with him?
And it was the most exhausting one I'd done at that point. Because it was just trying to keep up with him.
Yeah.
And then also feeling like he was trying to... Oh, God, I'm with a comedian. I need to keep...
Oh, he was really trying to keep up with you in it. Oh, that's really sweet, actually.
So there'd be some points, so he'd be like, oh, I can't think of anything else on this. Can we move on to the next one? And it was like... It was just interesting because I'd done... Up to that point, I had only been in videos with people I'd known fairly well. And I knew him from, just around for a few years. Yeah. But then we prank called Kellogg's at the end of that video. We called Kellogg's. And some of it's included in the end of the video.
No way, what video is that?
I think it's Irish People Try American Cereal.
I'm going to watch that now.
And we prank called... The two of us, I got my phone, had it on loudspeaker, we called Kellogg's about trying to get an endorsement. We were like, okay, we're representing so-and-so.
That's so funny.
But the two of us were trying to riff together, and at some points it just didn't work. I don't know if we were trying to get like, oh, we've got Cecilia Ahern here who's would love to have her face in the cereal, but it was absolutely nonsense. But it was also like 4:30 on Friday evening. So we're trying to get anyone on the phone.
I'm actually going to go watch that video now because I don't think I've seen that one. Yeah, no, I thought Jacker was great. Real soft spot for him.
Because there's another, just in terms of like being paired with people. I remember someone said before, like, I felt I got paired with a lot of like new people a lot. And I was like, because you want to be with your friends, you can hang out with your friends. But then you're like, oh, it's a sign of trust that they're like,
oh, it is,
that sort of thing. Because Ryan was like, oh, they don't put me in with any new people
anymore.
Yeah,
we did not put Ryan.
Because they're coming out of them feeling like you hate them. And Ryan is an absolute sweetheart. He's such a lovely guy. But when he's like on, it's like you can see why someone might be afraid. Like, oh my God, that guy hates me. Or he messed me after. He's like, oh, just a video with so and so. Like they definitely think, oh fuck. Like you feel bad about it. I'm like,
actually, not to ruin the illusion. When I was making my I Love Factory, I had a bit about it myself, Ryan, and then I was like, I better not ruin the illusion. Let everyone think he's a dickhead. That's the whole thing.
But I was in with the most awkward newcomer I've been in with. I don't know if she was in any. I think she was only in one video.
You don't have to use her name now. You can just continue.
Oh, that's fine because I'm not going to remember her name. I met her at the 1,000th party, the 1,000,000 subscriber party, and I got there early because I had to go off and do a show. So I was like, I get there early. And obviously there was stuff about avoiding certain people there as well. So I was like, I'll get there early, see the people I want to see, and then I can
bug off,
juke off. Yeah. So I arrived there, and there's 4 other people there.
Oh, you got there pretty early.
Oh, very early. One who I'd never met before, but knew from the channel. And then 2... No, I was the 4th, and then 2 people who I didn't know. I was chatting to one girl. I was like, "Oh, who are you here?" She was like, "I was in one video." I was like, "Oh, cool." And she's like, "Yeah, I was in it with you." I was like, "Oh boy."
Oh no.
Oh no.
That is awful.
Yeah, because I'm really good usually at faces and remembering people, but just
because you're in with for a half an hour with the person.
Right, not even looking at a screen and then like, oh, sorry, if I got this specific angle of your head, maybe I'd recognize you.
Yeah.
But also,
sorry, you're just so forgettable, okay?
I think I was just so like that night, like of the 1,000th, I was just already reluctant about going, so it was just like.
Yeah.
So when I got there and I didn't know anyone out of the few people there, I was like,
oh, that's so.
trying to make awkward chat with the barman. Like that's where I was like.
That's really.
So you got kegs under there, or have you to go and get bottles? I don't drink, so I wasn't like I had any invested interest in what I wasn't like. Oh well, I prefer it out of a keg than out of a can. I was like, And how these taps work? Oh, very good. You do nude modelling?
Right,
like it was horrible.
You arrived too early. That was your first mistake.
Oh
my god.
And then just remember seeing like Donna arrive and just be like Donna, just like pew, straight over.
Save me. Yeah.
Or just on like the WhatsApp. Anyone nearby? Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone? So the Christmas party this year, I was the same. I was like, hey, when are people showing up? And then left it another half an hour after that. So like, all right, everyone's there. I'm gonna head in.
Yeah, I think that Facts kind of started out as like mates. Everyone was mates, and then there was a lot of big personalities that were like going again and again. If you get me.
Yeah.
And then at some point, again from on high, there was a concern that I think, this is my opinion and my understanding of what happened, that there was this concern that like the characters were becoming too big, and it was about like it needed to be brought back to being about the channel for longevity or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why then it was like the casting was opened up, and and like people, you wouldn't have been with as many people that you would have maybe liked to have been with again, because it had to be constantly new people. You had to be mixing it up,
or there'd be like someone who'd do like one or two videos and were never seen again. And
well, that was never really. That's normally their problem. It was normally they were like, well, no, I'm not coming back.
Oh right, okay,
like,
yeah.
Okay, fine. Or I mean, obviously, if they were terrible, they got cut. But most of the time, they weren't terrible, and they were just like, no, I'm not coming in again.
Yeah.
Not everyone can handle the like comments or the like, the all that sort of jazz.
Yeah, that's something that really took a long time to
learn to ignore.
Well, not to ignore, but to develop a skin, like a tough skin against. Because the first time you see somebody tell you to go kill yourself is a tough one. Yeah. That's a real like hoofa. A few people call me the N-word a few times. That was real weird.
Yeah, people on my channel call me potato N-word.
At least they're, At
least it's Irish specific.
They're localizing it. Rather than like, that N-word needs to get off the channel.
That's a bit weird.
They'd be like, that N-word in the hat, and I'd be the only one in the video wearing a hat. Yeah. They'd be like, well, that's me they're talking about.
Oh my god.
That's real weird, yeah.
Yeah, I think because I was only in a handful of facts videos because I was mostly behind the camera, but I think I was fairly used to negative comments from my channel and previous channels I'd worked on. I remember I worked on a gaming channel once that was trying to change to an entertainment channel.
Okay.
They already had 100,000 subscribers, so their fans were like not here for it. And then they got me on, and they were like, "Who's this bitch?" And I remember there was like a lot of like rape. Like I remember one was like, "She deserves a stint in the rape dungeon," was one that stuck out in my head. And then one weird one was, because I already have videos making fun of these comments. Yeah. Another weird one was, I hope you get raped by a black man and then killed by his gay friend. And I was like, that is so specific.
And it's so, let's see how many people we can offend.
So I think when I was finally in the video, I was like,
that's water off a duck.
No, I wasn't used to the volume of it. So I was used to the nastiness of it, but I was like, Jesus, this is a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember there was one video I didn't like something, and holy man, people were so mad when you didn't like something.
Oh, and when like, if a negative comment about you was like in the top 2 comments, you're like, oh, this has also been voted on. Like, this isn't just one person's crappy opinion. This has been like peer reviewed. You're like, oh no, God. Because I think what people also don't consider, like, oh, they just give out everything. Like, you're watching 4 minutes, 3 minutes, and of that 3 minutes, one pair might be in it for 40 seconds. That's 40 seconds edited down out of a half an hour.
Yep. So an hour and a half of content for every 3 to 4 minute video, like.
So, sometimes you're like, oh God, I'm you might feel, and I don't. No, there's a few producers I've never felt this with.
Yeah.
People like, oh, they definitely edited that so that it's just my negative stuff. Like, they picked the 3 negative comments I've made, and this is just.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, with the 27 things, I was like, this is like of the positives. But there's like, oh, we'll just put this through.
Well, I unashamedly picked like the funnier stuff. Like, a lot of the time people are like, it's nice. I'd be like, that's boring. Cut.
But that's the other thing.
And where someone's thrown it across the studio or going, oh, blood is disgusting. I'll
it's
put
way
that
better
because it's funnier.
But like, that's people go, oh, why don't they ever like anything? Like, if you watched a video where everyone was like, yeah, this is good. Alright. Be like, oh, Irish people tried microphones. Like, yeah, looks good. like and subscribe. Like, it's just, that's the video, you know. It's not like, no, stay to this microphone, what does I think it is? Look how tall it is. It's what sort of weird. Like, there's nothing to riff off if something's good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is...
Irish people like food. This is nice. I'll eat this again. Thanks.
They should get another famine. You're like, alright guys, we get it. You learned something in history class once.
It was good fun. It is a pity that it's gone under. I'd love to take half of the people and start again.
There's so much stuff, I don't know how much I can say, but I did enjoy the, like, the immediacy of another WhatsApp group.
Oh, the shade of it all. Yes. Yeah, there are different groups.
I think there's just, even at the comedy gig the other night, when everyone got up on stage, like, this isn't even half of everyone who was involved.
No, it wasn't even, I wouldn't say it was even a quarter of total figures.
I mean, shit, this is so many people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get that many people, not everyone's going to get on.
Did you ever have, like, people who were always in your head as the newbies, but then you were, like, at one point, like, I always had these people in my head, I was like, these are the new guys, and these are the, like, the regulars, old guys. But then at one point, one of the people I had in my head as the newbie turned around and said they were there, like, 2.5 years, and I was like, what?
Yeah, in my head, like, it's, because Harker was there, like, 2 years. If not more. But in my head, she was one of the newer people because her first video was the Irish people who don't drink talk about not drinking, but it had a better title. Yeah. And I was in it, and
Teetotaler,
Harker, and then some lad who appeared and never reappeared.
God, I totally forgot it. Does she still not drink?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I ran into her then first time because, like, we didn't meet each other in the studio. I was doing a gig in Swords, and Jen was leaving some stuff, like microphones or something, into the venue, and we happened to just run into each other and we're like, hey, you were in that video. I was in that video. But then, because I had already been in the channel for like a year or 2 years...
Yeah, just in your head she's a newbie.
Yeah.
That's like, exactly the kind of feeling I meant, yeah.
But like, wait, we've, like, this was 2 studios in that time.
Oh, yeah. You probably did that with producers, though, as well. Like, me, Gary and Connor were probably like the newbie producers until the more newbie producers started, and then it was like... it was probably for a year and a half we were the newbie producers, if you know what I mean.
But even, like, while Sean was head producer, he's still like, oh, that new guy, Sean. Because, like, the first time I met Sean confused the hell out of me, because he came over to me, I was like, hey man, how's things? Do you want me to get you water? And like this, I was chatting away to him. I was like, who is this guy? Like, no, because I knew you...
There'd been no announcement.
No, I knew, like, you and Connor and... Gary did work in the old studio, did he? Yeah,
well actually Connor, Gary and Sean started the same week and I started a week later.
Right, but for whatever reason I just didn't meet Sean.
For ages.
Didn't know he existed.
Oh, actually, I remember someone saying this to me before, and it's because in the first office that I started working in...
The big one.
Well, it wasn't as big as the last one, but...
Oh, yeah.
The first office we started working in, the producers for Facts edited in a square, and Sean was on the other side of the square, so he was blocked by his computer from where you guys sat and waited.
Yes,
So actually someone else had said this to me before, they took them ages to see him, because he was always hidden. And then one day he came out and they were like, who's that guy?
Yeah, because he just was like, oh, hey, how's things? Do you want to get water, coffee? I was like, yeah. And I knew what I was doing. I was like, this guy's riffing. And I was like, are you a Creative Nation? And then he was sitting in the shoot and was like, this guy's getting very forward about getting involved.
Yeah, I think actually for my first shoot, whoever I had, I don't think it was you, but someone thought I was in the video. I think it might have been Leather Jack guy. He was like, you in it with me? And I was like, oh no, I'm behind the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the drag one.
I think the best office we had was the first office, and the second office was pretty good.
The first office. The first office
I was in.
Yeah.
Why was there one before that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So Facts moved a lot, FYI.
Around the corner.
The last office I didn't love because it was too big and we never really moved into it. Never really made it home.
It felt like as soon as
disorganized.
He's moved in, there was plans to move again.
Yeah. And this was part of the bad thing for working for Facts. There's a lot of positives, but in terms of someone who got their full time, like had to pay their bills from this.
Yeah.
There was a lot of uncertainty in since last August or so. There was a lot of uncertainty constantly. And it was like, well, we might be moving next week, but we might not. Oh, we might be doing up this place, but we might not. And it was just like, it really made you feel on edge.
I'd say so. Like for all the message people like, oh, really sorry the channel's gone. Like, like, I appreciate that support, but I might do 2 videos a week for not a lot of money. As like I said, very much like it's not my job.
Yeah.
Like, my stand-up is my job. Like, I'm lucky that I can get by on stand-up. I was like, oh, I appreciate the support. It's the producers that I'm feeling for. It's just like, whatever, it was 8 full-time staff. Like, oh, those are just out of work now. It's not.
Yeah, that's the saddest part about it, to be honest. And they're so talented as well.
Yeah. Sure, look, there might be something.
But hopefully, because I know that a lot of people, a lot of contributors now have their own YouTube channels. So I'm sure, I think everybody at the moment actually is doing like Facts Channel is over videos. So if you search Facts Channel is over or Facts Channel is dead, you'll probably find
everyone
doing a video on their channel to get that sweet traffic. So yeah, there's a lot of people who have their own YouTube channels now, so you can follow them there. A couple of the producers have their own YouTube, like Sean has his own YouTube channel.
And Colin.
And Colin has his own YouTube channel. Kelly also, she's a contributor. Kelly and Herker and Diane all have their own YouTube channels, and Shannon and John Sharpson has his Sharoof channel.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to go.
You have your channel, which I'm going to put down in the description below. You're going to get started on that.
Yeah, that's my plan for later. I've got my laptop
and
in my
also,
bag.
anyone who's in Ireland, like a lot of the Facts contributors are actors and comedians, so you can go watch them in something, or you can go watch them do stand up. Like, follow them on Twitter, I guess.
Twitter's probably the best.
Twitter's probably the best place.
That was always very frustrating.
Everyone's very active on Twitter.
Yeah, that was probably the most frustrating about Facts, was the inability to have our like Twitter handles put anywhere. And I know that wasn't the producers.
Social media.
Yeah,
so I know how annoying it was.
Yeah.
I was like, hello, best practice.
Yeah, happy contributors.
Yeah, would you like to know what best practice is? Because we're not doing it.
Yeah. Because anytime I was on radio or TV, I'd always plug the channel, and I was like,
no.
Why don't I get my Twitter plugged?
Because I feel like there was a fear that it
would be clicked through.
You get too big, but I was like, the bigger they get, the better it is for us. They're constantly plugging facts.
Yeah, but
anyway.
But yeah, so Twitter's probably the best because like people are like, oh, where are you doing shows? I'm like, me and Ryan run a comedy club. Like,
yeah, actually,
we run the longest running club in Ireland. We haven't been running it for 30 years, but like it's.
We should do some sort of blog post or something where we put what everyone is, where you can find them in like
a directory video,
like a directory sort of thing together. That'll take forever. Nadia, the number 1 fan of Facts Channel, could help us out there. That's another slightly weird story from Facts Channel, but basically there's a commenter and she commented so much that we all became very aware who she was, and like she's now like kind of really friendly with like loads of people, and I think she's coming to Ireland to visit. Yeah,
in the summer, I think. Yeah.
So there's a lot of friendships created online with the channel as well. Like,
even weird, like I did like a wee stand-up tour in the States 2016, but one of the people I stayed with like for 3 or 4 days
was a Facts
only. Well, I don't know if they were Facts Clisare, but like found me online through Facts.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, cool. I wouldn't have been to Boston if it wasn't for Facts.
Awesome.
Like, it's loads of stuff like that, or like people who come to gigs wherever. Like, I sold out a show in New York 5 days before the show. I didn't have to put up a single poster. Like, I got to the venue with posters and like, it's already sold out. I was like, this is insane.
Because you tweeted about it and people...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I went to see Oh Hello on Broadway with a friend. We came out of the theatre and just a girl rocks over, hey, you're Davey Reilly, right? Can I get a photo? I was like, there's actual famous people in here, and yet I'm being stopped on the street in New York by name.
That's amazing.
And same when I was in Boston, went to like this emo night in Harvard, and there was people like text my friend after. I'm like, that's like, this is insane. I couldn't even sell out a show in my hometown.
Yeah,
I
feel like it's more of a culture in America. They're more accepting, I guess, a little bit of like YouTuber fame or whatever. Like, you know, whereas in Ireland they're like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give him the satisfaction asking the guy on Facts Channel.
How many times have you played county minor though? You know?
Yeah, true.
How many junior B medals have you got? None. Alright.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast
today.
Thank
you so much for having me.
Remind everyone where to find you on the internet.
DaveyReilly.com is probably the easiest way. There's a link to everything else that is on there.
That link will be down in the description and in the show notes on SoundCloud, and I'll put any other links down in the description as well. Your Twitter and your Facebook and your YouTube account.
Yeah.
Your current
that'll be up later on today. Yeah. So whatever this is, well, by the time this is online.
Oh, it'll be, yeah.
It'll exist.
And then, yes, so thank you so much. And give Davey a follow and everyone else from Facts as well.
Yay. Thanks, Blair.
Alrighty. Bye. See you next week.